Hello, my name is Sasha Chapman and I am an embodied empowerment coach and speaker. And I work specifically with high sensation seeking, high sensory leaders to align with their truth so that they can begin making the impact that they were born to make. So before you start working at the shadow level with these traits, and even during, and sometimes, this is an ever-ending process, right? So but certainly before we do the shadow work, we can feel like these two traits it's like a bit of an internal war going on. And we have these very opposing drives inside of us, the behavioral inhibition system, which is the pause and check for the HSIs, high sensory intelligence, and the behavioral activation system, which is related to the high sensation seeking. But yeah, as we grow up and we're in environments which don't necessarily support these traits, or they don't recognize these traits, we very much go into, well, this isn't good enough, or I just need to bury this part of me because it's not accepted, and I need to be loved, and if I reveal this part of me, then I won't be accepted and loved. So yes, these internal tug of war and this internal conflict that arises when we aren't aware of our shadows, and two archetypes that appear with these the high sensory trait and the high sensation seeking trait are the people pleaser for the high sensory trait, and the high sensation seeking trait is the rebel. And I was in a scenario, actually not too recently, it still catches me, where I was in a show. Well, I was observing a show. I was an audience member, and it was people were standing up. There was no seating arrangements, and I couldn't see anything. So I looked to my left, and I saw that there was a little bit of a gap, but then I thought, well, if I go there, then the other person won't be able to see. So I didn't. And the next time I looked, there was a woman who just kind of plonked herself in there. And of course, at that time, the rebel is really irritated with me. Very, very irritated with me indeed, and I'm irritated with me because I wasn't asserting myself and I allowed the people pleaser to take over. So the next performance, I made sure that I was right at the front, and but because I was at the front, I was also next to the photographer that was about to. He came in later, and then somebody moved right in front of me, and I could feel my blood kind of slightly boiling here, and during the performance, and I'd already checked that people were already sitting there in the previous performance, I actually got up and I just went round the photographer, and I sat on the other side, and it felt edgy and it felt daring and it felt really good, because I honoured my rebel, and I checked in with my high sensory self as well. So what's the one thing that you can do today that is a small rebellious act, which also includes and integrates your high sensory trait as well? I'd love to hear from you. See you again.